Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video, Basketball 360 here. And today we are going to be discussing the Houston Rockets and where their future goes from here. As you guys may know, Mike D'Antoni is fired. I actually am kind of glad about that. I don't like the small ball lineup with Harden and Westbrook. I think it was a bad trade to go get Westbrook because it really just destroys the whole concept of the small ball. I mean, for years you've been surrounding James Harden with guys that can shoot the ball, and they don't really live in the paint. They live from three, and that they go in or they don't go in, and that's why Houston, they've been a top team in the Western Conference for the last 3 or 4 years, but they really haven't been able to have much playoff success. I mean, they had one time where they had a series they should have won in the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors, and they lost it. And honestly, the Harden era in Houston needs to end. I mean, they need to make some trades, and right now, because you got the Lakers and the Clippers in the mix, and the Rockets are never going to be able to beat them. And by the time, the Lakers and Clippers have kind of calmed down, the Houston Rockets will have too. Harden will be older, closer to retirement. So the Rockets, it's basically now or never for Houston, and they're not making any changes. They're bringing back the same squad every year. And they, in my opinion, everyone else is saying, you need to go get someone else to pair with Harden. First they had Dwight Howard, who was coming off of back surgery. And I know his stats dipped down a little bit, in Houston, but that was because of James Harden. James Harden is the problem. It's not the other star, the second star to try to coexist with James Harden, that has been the problem. It has been James Harden himself. He's made other players worse. He made Dwight Howard worse. I know the back surgery had some things to do with it, but it didn't have everything to do with it. And Dwight Howard spent 3 years in Houston, and he never really returned the same, and now he's old. He's a veteran. He'll be retiring probably in the next 5 years. He's a role player on the Lakers that probably gets 5 minutes a game in the playoffs. And that's just he kind of just ruined Dwight Howard's career. And I'm not saying that I'm a Dwight Howard fan, because I'm really not. And I don't believe that Dwight Howard wasn't part of the problem, but he certainly but Harden was most of it. And Harden also did this to Chris Paul. They tried Chris Paul, which, I mean, it made sense to bring Chris Paul to Houston to get a pass first point guard who knew who to get the ball to in crunch time, which was James Harden. But that didn't work. Chris Paul's stats significantly dropped, and that's because of James Harden's usage rate. He has one of the highest usage rates in NBA history. And the Rockets, they can't just have Harden anymore, okay? I think they keep Westbrook, because if they go in, they can rebuild right now. That's their other option, just trade everyone away. But if you bring back Harden next year and bring back Westbrook, that's not going to work again. Whoever their coach is, they can't go small ball again. They don't have a center. It didn't work this year. Mike D'Antoni is no longer the coach, so it's not even going to work unless they can find someone that can actually do that, which I highly doubt. But I think that the Houston Rockets need to keep Westbrook and get a center and get one other guy that they want to. Harden will be worth a lot on the trade market. I mean, he's been a top 3 player. He's been in the NBA MVP conversation every year in recent years. He's worth a lot on the trade market, and you could get 2 lower caliber all-stars. James Harden's a top 5 player. You can probably get 2 other players in exchange for him that are top 25. What's on my mind is finding a way to get Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, that really solves all of your problems. Kristaps being 7'3" can easily play the center. Will solve all your small ball problems with not being able to match up bigger teams like the Lakers and even the Bucks with Giannis and Brook Lopez, all these other teams that have good centers like the Nuggets, and like they dominate. They dominate the Rockets because they can just take advantage of having 6'5" PJ Tucker play the 5. Like I don't get it. Honestly, like I don't really get it. So they need to really just get rid of Harden. And if they can, and then Luka solves your problem too. I mean, I know that the contract issues, you'd have to work that out, work a few trades or something, or picks or other role players. But basically, like the core of the trade being Doncic and Porzingis for Westbrook, Harden, I think that would really work because you have, like, I mean, unless Luka takes another jump, like, Luka's great and all, but he's not reached his potential yet. So there's the clear go-to guy, which is Westbrook. You have someone to kick out to in being Luka Doncic, and you have Kristaps Porzingis to dominate other teams in the paint. Now, I know Kristaps is probably going to be out for some time next year, but they can certainly work a way around that and build for the future. I mean, that's one of the best young duos, and, like, this is the only way for the Mavericks to go forward with this. Like, everybody is saying, like, you know, we have to find another guy for Harden. Westbrook didn't work. Chris Paul didn't work. Dwight Howard didn't work. But what people aren't realizing is that Dwight Howard, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, those guys aren't the problem. It's James Harden. He makes people worse. And he can't play with other people. And, like, that brings me to the topic. Like, people are always saying, too, that, you know, like, what if the Thunder kept their big three and with Harden, Westbrook, and Durant? That they were talking about how great that would be, but if you really think about it, James Harden would not be great. He is a ball-dominant player that he only plays well when he's the only superstar out there. And if there is another superstar, he just doesn't pass the ball or passes the ball when it gets to... The reason he gets 7 assists a game, because he only passes the ball when the shot clocks are in single digits. So usually you get an assist if they get a shot off. Because usually when you pass them the ball with single digits on the shot clock, they're going to have to shoot the ball. And, like, the Rockets just need to fix things and fast. It's really now or never. So that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Now let me know down in the comment section, like, what you think, how the Rockets should go forward from here. But don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next video.